this magnificent viaduct with its 27 arches that reflect in the water behind me makes a striking backdrop to some rather restorative gardens. But where have I come to for this picturesque setting? Find out in just a moment. Today's buyer has dreams of the good life and has brought her best buddy along for the ride. They're both impressed by our characterful collection of cottages.
Oh, this is a pretty little room, isn't it?
It's very nice, yes.
And at one of our houses, she clearly feels at home.
It's gorgeous.
Love it. You're beginning to go, aren't you?
Yeah, she is.
The dream is a step closer.
Yeah.
Today I'm in Somerset and this is the Grade 2 listed Charlton Viaduct. Built in 1874, it stands an impressive 15 metres above the River Sheppey and was the longest of 7 viaducts that were built along the 26-mile stretch of the Somerset and Dorset Railway. Now, no longer in use, the viaduct makes a statuesque feature to the public gardens here at Kilver Court in Shepton Mallet. And later on in the show, I'll be back to find out more about the history of these gardens. But in the meantime, there's plenty more on offer in this beautiful Western county. In the heart of the West Country, Somerset is England's 7th largest county and shares its border with Devon and Dorset in the south and Wiltshire to the east. It's a county with a range of contrasting landscapes, from dramatic rocky shorelines to gently rolling countryside. As well as craggy cliffs, the coast along the Bristol Channel is made up of long sandy beaches, such as the resort of Burnham-on-Sea, home to 2 wooden lighthouses perched high on stilts. Inland, the Mendip Hills cover an area of 120 square miles. Popular with hikers, is also home to one of the most famous limestone gorges in the world at Cheddar. Pretty villages include Norton St Philip with its 15th century pub, which some would say is the oldest tavern in Britain. With the added draw of the Quantock Hills, a rolling landscape of patchwork fields, this is a county for those seeking an authentic slice of rural Britain. If you pick Somerset as your county of choice, you'll find that prices hang tantalisingly below the national average. Currently, the average price for a detached house in England and Wales is around £282,000. But in Somerset as a whole, you'll be making a saving of around £5,000 from that figure. However, in the far north of the county, you may expect to pay a little bit more due to the swift transport links between Bristol and London. So how will this glorious county provide the perfect environment for today's buyer? Well, let's meet her and find out. Today's house hunter is Gina from Bristol, who's lived in this 3-bedroom cottage on the outskirts of the city for 18 years. Supporting her on the move is Claire, Gina's best friend.
Claire and I met about 30 years ago, wasn't it? In Northamptonshire, where we both lived.
And we got chatting.
Yeah.
We just instantly liked each other.
Yeah, clicked, didn't we? We've religiously kept in contact. At minimum, as we have a long conversation once a week.
And really, our friendship's just been like that all the way through.
Absolutely.
Although Gina's spent nearly 2 decades in her beautifully renovated and much-loved home, she now feels it's time to move on.
Bristol generally is a very busy area.
I think if you could pick up this house, actually, and move it into the country, you'd be really happy.
I would, yeah.
But since Gina's 2 adult sons still live in Bristol, she doesn't want to venture too far, so the Somerset countryside is the happy medium.
Somerset is an ideal location for me. It's got good motorway access back to Bristol, but then again you're out in the beautiful countryside, and I particularly love waking up in the morning, hearing the birds. It just feels right to me, if you can understand that. It's a feeling.
And in her spare time, Gina plans to pursue a more self-sufficient way of life.
I think you're going to love living in the countryside. You're going to have a bit of outside space. You'll be able to grow your vegetables.
Absolutely.
Have more animals.
Yeah, keep a dog.
As well as her friendship, when it comes to rural endeavours, Claire speaks from experience.
I've done a similar move to the country. I escaped 5 years ago, so I do know the ins and outs of living in the country, and hopefully I can point out some of the possible pitfalls, if there are any.
Until she retired, Gina worked as an office manager for a construction company. So now the keen animal lover has more time to devote to her 2 cats, as well as caring full-time for her elderly mother, Anita, who lives with her.
Mum is obviously a big part of this move. She can see the benefits and it'll make life much easier for her.
Despite a big change in lifestyle for Gina, her good friend Claire has no doubt this is the best thing for her.
This move is only going to be positive for Gina. You'll have peace of mind that your mum's in suitable accommodation.
Yep.
So that's all good, and you'll have such a better quality of life.
I think so too.
Gina wants to be within an hour's drive from her sons in Bristol, so our Somerset search will bear that in mind. I'm meeting up with the 2 friends to hear more about Gina's planned move. Well, Gina and Claire, lovely to meet you and welcome to Somerset.
Thank you.
So what exactly then are we looking for? Just
Okay.
remind me.
Yeah, a minimum of 3 bedrooms, and I need 1 bedroom to be downstairs with a shower room for my mum. You know, I quite like a big kitchen diner. I would like a character property, and I would like a nice big back garden where I can have little veggie plot, fruit trees, chickens, and if there was space for more animals, that would be lovely. So I'd like that big animal-safe garden, really.
Yeah, so the larger the better.
Yeah, I think so.
And Gina, you've recently become your mother's carer, haven't you? And she's moved in with you. I mean, how does she feel about this move?
I think she appreciates that, you know, with the facilities that she will have to a downstairs shower room, bedroom, it'll be a good move.
So she's looking forward to it,
Yes,
is she?
yeah.
Now, Claire, you know Gina so well. Anything that she wouldn't like? Any no-nos?
I think anything that's too remote, she may like, but I don't think is going to be practical for her and her mum.
Definitely.
And remind us of your budget.
It's 375,000.
And do you think that's realistic for this part of the country?
I think so, yes.
It's the land that's going to be the interesting one, isn't it?
Yes. Well, let's just see what you've got for me,
Are you
Nikki.
feeling flexible?
Yes, I'm just open to looking at anything. I'm really excited about it.
We do have some splendid properties to show you. Claire, pressure's on you as well as me with this search. We've got to find that perfect home for the 2 of them.
We have.
Should we get started, ladies?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Go on, then.
Thank you, Nikki.
With a top budget of £375,000, Gina would like a character property with a minimum of 3 bedrooms, with 1 on the ground floor for her mother, Anita. Gina would like a range in her kitchen and a large enough garden to keep chickens and grow her own produce. We've scoured the property market and come up with a fine selection of Somerset homes to entice Gina and Claire, but they won't be furnished with the price until the end of our viewings. At our last contender, the Mystery House, we'll see just how far Gina is willing to compromise on her home to get the land she's after. To kick off the house search, we're heading to the hamlet of Parbrook, which is just a few miles from Boltonsborough. Here there are basic amenities including a public house and a large village hall, hosting a range of events and clubs for the local community. Back in Parbrook, the house we're viewing is in the middle of the hamlet, where there's an array of pretty stone cottages, which will hopefully provide Gina with the kind of character she's after. So let me show you our property.
It's very nice, isn't it?
It's a Victorian property, so it dates back to about the 1870s.
I like the look of it.
I
Do
do
you?
as well, yeah.
Do you two know where we are within Somerset?
No,
No
I haven't
idea,
got a
really.
clue.
We're about 6 miles from Glastonbury and about 7 miles from Wells.
Right, OK.
But there's a village 3 miles away that has everything that you need day to day. But we're actually in Parbrook, and it is a hamlet, so there aren't any amenities, just, as you can see, some wonderful properties.
Yes. Very
Very
nice,
pretty.
very pretty.
I'm glad you're loving the outside. Hopefully, you're going to be just as impressed with what's inside. Shall we?
Yes, let's.
Please.
The former farm cottage is actually semi-detached, although from this angle it's hard to tell. At the front, there's a single garage handy for storage, which sits in front of an L-shaped cottage. The house is a two-storey building attached to a single-storey extension built 7 years ago, which is where we're starting our tour. Come on in, ladies. I'm going to start off with Mum, but we're actually thinking downstairs bedroom.
Oh, right, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it would make a bedroom, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the beams.
Feeling of space, isn't there, with the beams?
Yeah, yeah.
And then just off the hallway is a downstairs toilet.
Oh.
So that you could extend all the way along to this wall to make it a downstairs
Yes.
shower room. So you've got the plumbing already, but you wanted a little bit of character.
Wow, we've certainly got that, haven't we?
Definitely.
So this could be for Mum. Let's see what
Okay.
you make of the rest of the downstairs.
Yes.
And there's a small step.
Yep.
Got your dining room here, and then you've got, in a way, like an L-shaped kitchen.
Quite a good
Yes.
size.
The size is workable, isn't it? Because you've got dining, and a table to fit there. It's very nice.
I would
Very
say,
nice.
I don't think the style of the units is exactly your style, but that's irrelevant really, isn't it? Because it's a good shape.
Could you work with this?
I could work with it, absolutely, yes.
And then, of course, next door to this, you've got your sitting room, just through
okay.
here.
Oh, this is a pretty little room, isn't it?
It's very nice, yes, I like it.
Very, very nice, yeah. Nice features.
Quite a big window looking out on hopefully your garden.
Hey, that's the good news. You're absolutely right.
There
Claire,
is a
that
garden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you two are instantly animated walking into this room.
Yes,
First time.
I like it.
Yeah, you could tell.
It's
both
got a
of
nice
you.
feel to
Yeah,
it.
it has. Has. It's
Could you see
peaceful.
yourself here with your mum?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I could see her in here. Yes, in here, yes.
Would you change anything in this room, do you think?
No, it's fine.
I'll take that. I'll be asking you upstairs. Let's have a look. So both our ladies seem happy with what the downstairs has to offer, although Gina may need to make a few alterations to make it work for her and her mother. Upstairs is a little smaller, not benefiting from the ground floor extension, but does have a bath and shower room and 3 good-sized neutrally decorated double bedrooms, including a master.
It's a nice shape, isn't it?
Not a bad size, is
No.
it? No, not at all.
Nice light room. I like it.
It's not wowing you, is it?
It's just because I think I would change certain things. It's probably about feeling, isn't it?
It is.
And whilst I've got a feeling it's a nice house, I'm not exactly getting that 100% feeling for myself.
Well, there are 3 important elements to this move. Getting it right for Anita, your mum, getting you the right property, but also finding you the right garden.
Yes.
So let's look at the final part of that jigsaw.
Thank you.
Although she's quite hard to read, I can't help but think Gina was expecting a bit more from this house. Hopefully the garden will impress, as it gives her space to grow her own vegetables and maybe even keep an animal or 2.
The garden's ideal. It's a nice shape, enclosed, private, chickens up the corner.
Oh, I couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it, Claire?
I love the garden, yes, I think it's perfect.
Yeah. So, ladies, what are we thinking? Can we put a price on this property?
I'm thinking maybe 345.
OK. Gina?
It is difficult, and it is a guess, and I'll say 350.
You two are so good at this, and that in a healthy way.
No.
Because the asking price is £350,000. But in all seriousness, it means you've got £25,000 left.
Yes, of course.
If you wanted to change anything.
So knowing the price, does that change anything?
No, I don't think so.
OK.
No, I think it's still about the feel, and I do like it very much, but I'm just not getting that absolute feel at the moment.
Not straight away.
No.
Fair enough. Well, why don't you go back in, both of you, get reacquainted with
Yes.
it, and then well, give me a shout when you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nikki.
Under budget by £25,000, this extended form of farm worker's cottage gives Gina the character she was after. For her mother, there's a sizable bedroom downstairs and 3 upstairs. Although the practical kitchen isn't to her taste, there would be capital left over to remodel and perhaps even install a range. It has a pretty large garden and is set in a peaceful hamlet.
I really like this property. I don't know if maybe I liked it a little bit more than Gina. Gina likes it, but I'm not sure she loves it.
My heart, I suppose, is about the feeling, and my head is the practicalities. And I'm trying really to be very practical about it, because it's not just me to consider.
Well, we've had a good day, haven't we, today?
Very
This is
good.
a beautiful spot. I'm not quite sure if we've cracked it, but the good news is we've got more to show you tomorrow.
So look forward to that.
Situated in the rolling Somerset landscape of the Blackdown Hills is the Fern Animal Sanctuary, which has been providing refuge for unwanted animals since the Second World War. As a charity, it relies entirely on donations and members of the public to help look after its 300 or so residents. Gina's passion for animals is clear, but she's also expressed an interest in volunteering when she moves. So we've arranged for her and Claire to visit the shelter, where they're meeting director Jenny Whedon.
So how did it all start then, Jenny?
Well, there's a lovely story behind the beginnings of the sanctuary, actually. Back at the beginning of the Second World War, there was a lady called Gina, who was the Duchess of Hamilton, and she recognised that there would be men and women going off to fight for their country who wouldn't have anybody to look after their pets. And she went to the BBC and asked if she could use the medium of radio to broadcast that to the nation. And legend has it that by the time she got back to her London home, there were 40 cats and dogs and a parrot waiting for her. So you can imagine that was a huge task for her to look after.
Absolutely.
And she shipped them all down to her country estate, which was near Shaftesbury in Dorset, and was called Fern, hence the name.
Hence the name.
And of course, at the end of the war, many of the owners didn't return. So that was how the sanctuary started, when she's tried to find permanent homes for all the animals that she'd collected through the war.
Oh, that's a nice story. How many animals have you got here?
Well, we have around 300 animals here at any one time, all various species, from horses, donkeys, cattle, sheep, pigs, goats, cats and dogs, and all the small furry pets as well.
300 animals may sound a lot, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Every year, over 7.5 million arrive at animal shelters across the UK. The vast majority cats and dogs, either abandoned by their owners or found roaming Britain's streets. As well as providing refuge, the Somerset Sanctuary tries to find loving new homes for as many of its animals as possible. Some horses and ponies are available for permanent loan. Gina used to ride herself, and she's keen to meet one of the shelter's new arrivals.
So, Gina and Claire, this is our latest resident, as yet unnamed.
Oh,
Oh,
how gorgeous.
She's just 2 weeks old today.
Oh, so what's Mum's story? How did she get rescued?
Well, the mum's called Sydney, and she'd been abandoned with 14 other ponies, in spite of the fact that she was pregnant. And she came here and very soon delivered of her baby.
So will the foal be adopted?
Hopefully, when she's old enough, and Mum as well, it would be lovely if the two
go
of them could go
together.
together.
Yes, of course. Look
Look at that little foal. It's gorgeous.
Charities like the Fern Animal Sanctuary could not function without the help of volunteers. Around 150 of them work across the 51-acre site, including current volunteer Bernie and her two companions, Molly and Rosie.
I'll leave you in Bernie's capable hands, and it's been lovely meeting you both.
Thank you very much.
Jenny.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Dogs and cats are available for rehoming within a 40-mile radius of the shelter. With up to 50 dogs waiting to be adopted, one of the tasks is to help exercise and socialise these animals.
So, Bernie, how long have you worked here?
Well, I've volunteered here for the past 2 years. I started when I retired from work.
Oh, what a nice thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
What made you decide to do that?
Well, I retired and I wanted to do something voluntary. And I'd worked all my life with children, so I decided I'd rather work with animals for a change.
Yeah.
Is it a sort of a 9-to-5 job? You have to be available all day?
No, really, the volunteer's in charge of the hours they work or the days, and you can help on a regular basis. I work in the cattery, for example. You can walk dogs, you can help in the office or in our charity shops, because fundraising's a major thing that we do. So all that kind of fundraising activities, shops, they all need people to help.
The Somerset countryside is not only a haven for animals, but could also offer Gina sanctuary to pursue her hobbies. As we still need to find our buyer some territory of her own, our house hunt will continue in the morning. It's the second day of our Somerset house hunt with Gina, who's accompanied by her friend Claire. On a £375,000 budget, Gina wants a country home which suits both her and her elderly mother too. Still to come, the mystery house reveals its surprise.
Well, I can see why it was the mystery house.
Yeah.
This is just
Gorgeous, isn't it?
It really is lovely.
and I meet the green-fingered fashion guru whose colourful garden is setting a trend.
All I could see was lines of corporation roses, orange, yellow, pink, orange, yellow, pink. So I thought, well, they've got to go.
Yesterday was a beautiful day weather-wise, but a little gloomy on the property front. So today, I'm hoping for some role reversal. Now, this search hasn't been easy, trying to find that characterful home with a large garden that marries up both Gina and her mum Anita's requirements with very little adjustments. So what I'm showing them today, well, I hope it's going to give Gina that feeling that she so craves. The next home we're showing Gina is in the village of Birtle, around 9 miles inland from the coast. Nearby Wedmore is a larger village situated on a ridge of land rising out from the Somerset levels. A prosperous focal point for the area, its amenities include a range of independent shops, cafes and pubs. Wedmore is steeped in history. In Saxon times, it was under the control of the kings of Wessex, and in 878 AD, King Alfred the Great declared peace with the Danes nearby. Today, its architecture gives the village a real charm which shines through whatever the weather, from late Georgian townhouses to an example built in the Italianate style. Just south of Wedmore is the smaller village of Birtle, where our next house is located. Right, it might be raining, but it's not going to deter us because this is our next property.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, this is lovely.
I'm liking a two-wow,
This is
even in the
absolutely
rain.
lovely.
Oh, no, this is
Is
lovely.
it the whole house?
It's the whole house.
The whole house?
I
Oh,
like
look
this,
at the
yeah.
door,
And
Gina.
is this an extension?
Yep, so the original
Yeah.
part was 19th century.
Uh-huh.
Then one extension was done in the 1970s, and then
Yeah.
the other one was done in the 1990s, so pretty substantial.
It looks fabulous.
Yeah. So because of the rain, let's head straight inside, yeah?
Please.
Despite the downpour, there are upbeat reactions from both Gina and Claire to this detached country cottage. We're bypassing the porch and using the French doors, going through a lobby to reveal one of the reception rooms in the property. The good news is it's nice and dry in here, ladies.
Oh,
this is
very
nice.
nice.
I like it.
Look behind you, Gina.
Oh, that's
Beautiful.
Got to keep you toasty in the winter, isn't it? Actually, you could do with it today.
Yes.
absolutely.
And this, I like this. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Now, the current owners have done an awful lot of work on this property, and where they have, they've tried to take it back to how it perhaps looked 150, 200 years ago
Yeah.
exactly, and they've
Yeah.
used as much as they can.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful Bresma beam there, isn't it?
It is.
And as you say,
Certainly is. Yeah.
It's lovely.
I'm just getting that good feeling at the moment. Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, it's looking good. I like it.
You like the beams?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a lovely room.
yeah.
So this is a wooden floor.
This is reclaimed parquet flooring.
Okay.
You mentioned character and charm. Are you feeling
Yes. Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
In
What do you
bucketfuls,
think?
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. It's lovely.
Early days, but could you see Gina here so far?
This is a Gina house. So far, yes. So far, so good.
We'll continue the Gina tour then, shall we? Well, Claire clearly thinks this house works for her friend, but knowing how important the feel of a place is for Gina, I'm hoping the kitchen gives her the same sense.
Love it.
It's not massive, but it's gorgeous.
Love it.
Fabulous cooker.
You're beginning
Yes.
to go, aren't you?
Yeah, she is.
Yep.
Oh. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
I love the wooden worktops.
Look at the floor.
You've actually got underfloor heating. It's electric.
Oh, okay.
Great. That's really
okay.
good with these type of tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not cold on your feet
No.
first thing in the morning.
No.
And if you've got a cat, they're going to love it.
I've got two. So far, it's working for me. Yeah.
It's working, isn't it?
Oh, it is
Look at the
working.
smile.
I saw, Claire, I saw a little moist eye earlier on.
Oh, this is just so
Yeah.
Gina. It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Beautiful. I love it too.
The dream is a step closer.
Yeah.
OK, well, still one more thing to show you on this level, and also to mention that there is a utility room. Because the house has been extended, they couldn't put the utility room on this side, they've actually put it on the other, but you've got additional storage space, washer, dryer, room for that.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Right, but let's see what you make of the final thing on the ground floor. So, with both ladies falling for our country cottage, we just need to deal with Mum Anita's living space, and I've set aside the second reception room as her downstairs bedroom. Now, we can't forget Anita, can we? all-important mummy.
I don't believe this. It just
Oh, I
gets
don't
better.
believe it.
This is
That is
beautiful, though.
amazing.
Look at that stone
It's
fireplace, Gina.
beautiful. Lovely and light and bright.
So this is the way I actually brought you in. There's 2 entrances to the cottage. This one's a little bit wider, so perhaps if ever your mum did need a wheelchair or easier access, you
Yes.
could bring her straight in here. You've got this wonderful room, which I think is like a
lovely.
day room rather than a bedroom.
Yes.
Potentially, if you wanted to change things around a little bit, you've got your utility room next door.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
right.
You can make that into a bathroom.
I think we could do that.
Yeah, yes. I'm happy, Claire.
Suddenly,
I'm happy.
a bit easier to
I
do
might
that.
have sulked if
Yes.
she said no. Yeah. You might be wondering about the staircase. So this is the extension. Upstairs, you've got a really large, generous double bedroom. Next to that, you've got the family bathroom, single bedroom with walk-in wardrobes.
Right.
But there's another staircase with further bedrooms.
Goodness.
Right.
As well as the 2 upstairs bedrooms in this wing of the property, there are 2 more in the older part. Both bedrooms are served by a beautiful family bathroom. One could make an excellent guest room for when Claire comes to stay, and the other Gina's master.
It's a lovely room.
But it's-
Another lovely room.
Absolutely. It's just hitting the spot, I think. I love it.
Yeah? Getting the big thumbs up?
Yes, definitely. Couldn't be better.
I hate to think what it costs.
Well, we are going to have to touch on that. It doesn't look as if it's raining quite as much as earlier on, but the garden is so beautiful, I think it's worth getting a little bit damp.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
The enclosed garden is south-facing and laid to lawn, with a paved patio area at the front of the house. The level land provides space to keep animals, and there's easily room for a greenhouse or vegetable patch. Now you can see the garden in all its splendour.
It's really lovely.
It's a lovely garden. Lots of
Yep.
bits and little nooks
Shrubs
and crannies.
and trees, just what I wanted. And I even see chickens in a chicken run.
Yes.
You can
Perfect.
negotiate, actually, keeping those on. But what do we think about the price?
I think it's over my budget. I think I'm going to go for 385.
385?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I do think that, and hope they take an offer.
I like that, the optimism. So you both think £10,000 over your top budget?
Yes.
The asking price is £359,950.
No.
15,000 under
Goodness.
Oh my goodness.
budget.
I don't believe that. Do you?
Oh, I'm so excited about it.
Should we do a rain dance? So pretty. So why don't you go back in the wall, have a look at the garden through that window at the top, and I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Thank you.
The price of this extended country cottage comes as a nice surprise, as it's £15,000 under budget. Dating back to the 19th century, it's been recently remodelled and includes a farmhouse-style kitchen, 2 large reception rooms, one of which could be turned into a bedroom, and 4 further bedrooms upstairs. The south-facing plot provides ample garden space for animals and vegetables.
I definitely got the feeling with this property from the moment we actually came through the gate and saw it and saw the garden.
I just think it's made for her. It's her style, it's got the character, it's got the wood burner, and it's perfect for her mum as well.
Now that was a good house tour, wasn't it?
Certainly
yeah,
was.
your faces said all. Let's go. For our final house, we're hopping over the border into Devon and travelling to the hamlet of Staple Cross. 2 miles away is Holcombe Rogus, which was a centre of chair making for 400 years until the last artisan shop closed in 1919. The village's most notable landmark is the privately owned Holcombe Court, one of the finest Tudor houses in England. There's also a thriving pub and a garage which doubles up as a post office. There's an interesting mix of architecture, with many houses built from cob or stone dating from the 17th and 18th centuries. And the 500-strong community is served by a freshwater spring. Our mystery house is in the smaller settlement of Staple Cross. By venturing into Devon, we're lengthening Gina's journey time back to Bristol, but we're going on a charm offensive, plus there's a surprise in store. So, our final property, of course, is your mystery house.
It's cute, isn't it?
Very sweet.
but very cute, yes.
I think it's going to be full of character, hopefully.
So we've had a little bit of a drive, not too far to get here. Any idea why we brought you here, why this is our mystery house?
No, not a clue at the moment.
Is it because we're no longer in Somerset?
On the money, totally. We're only half a mile across the border, so not far, but we are actually in Devon.
OK.
And this property is very different because it's part of a terrace. Well, it dates back to the 17th century. It was actually the stables for the horses that worked at the pub.
Oh, right, OK.
And I think it was in the 1970s it was converted into a house. Hopefully you're going to get the character that you're after.
Oh,
OK.
lovely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's start.
Although it looks small from the front, the cottage has been extended to the rear, offering deceptively spacious accommodation inside.
So, off the hallway, we have our sitting room.
This is a nice room.
This is very cosy, isn't it?
Yeah.
A nice single fireplace with a wood burner.
It oozes character.
It does ooze character.
I thought it was going to be really quite small, but...
It goes back, doesn't it?
Yes.
It is a warm, very friendly property, and it does keep giving and giving, as you're going to see. So you have a beautiful dining room, which leads out onto the patio area. Then next door, we have our kitchen.
That's nice, isn't it? It's very characterful. And a range cooker, which is on my wish list. And this is a kind of an L shape, is it?
Yes, so going down the little alleyway here, you have a larder at the back, little area, and you also have got a door which leads into a downstairs toilet and a utility room.
Oh, OK.
I really like it, yeah.
Would you change anything in here?
I don't think so, no. No.
No? Mystery House is working so far, but of course, there's another person we like to keep happy, so we're going to go back through the dining room.
OK.
It seems that Gina and Claire are both captivated by the charms of this mystery cottage. The downstairs room we've set aside for Gina's mum is currently being used as a study. I know it's tight, but I'm hoping it could accommodate her needs. Upstairs, the historic tone continues. There are 3 bedrooms in total, all good-sized doubles, and a family bathroom with corner bath.
So here is just one of the 3 bedrooms.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
This is lovely, isn't
it lovely? I love the beams.
That's beautiful.
Has been beautifully done, hasn't it?
I
it
really like
has.
this room, yeah.
It looks very nice.
And is that a cupboard there?
That is a really good size ensuite shower room.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
This is...
So this is your room?
Yes, this is bigger than what you imagine, isn't it, from,
Yes.
from the
Yes,
outside.
this is a lovely room.
It's a lovely room.
Without being rude, when you first see the cottage, you think perhaps a generous 2 up, 2 down, don't you?
You do, really, yeah.
And you step in
Yes.
actual fact, what we're looking at is a family home.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
it's
that's
lovely.
Quite a surprise, isn't it?
But if you'd like to follow me, I've still got something else up my sleeve to show you.
Ooh.
The surprise I mentioned earlier is outside, and it's not the fully enclosed courtyard garden with steps leading up to the landscape raised lawn area. The space I want to show Gina and Claire is further along the lane from the house. It's a private woodland garden, offering Gina the chance to fulfil her dreams of self-sufficiency.
All right.
Think so.
The mystery continues up here. This is your land.
No.
Yes.
That is amazing.
0.8 of an acre. So this is the final part of the mystery house.
Well, it is a mystery, yeah.
Has it been worth crossing the border into Devon?
Yes, lovely, really lovely.
So let's guess the price.
It's really difficult. I've no idea. I'm just going to say 360,000.
Okay.
370.
Oh, what about if we went in between the two of you? Because it's on for £365,000.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
Under budget.
So why don't you head gently back, have a little look, and I'll see you when you're ready.
OK.
Mind those stairs.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Below budget by £10,000, our mystery property is a terraced stone cottage dating to the 17th century that boasts a wealth of old features. It has a farmhouse-style kitchen and a downstairs study that could make a bedroom for Mum. Upstairs there are 3 double bedrooms and, as well as a courtyard garden, there's almost an acre of private woodland just up the lane.
From pulling up outside, it just had a very small frontage, and the cottage just kept giving and giving. And then to be brought up here to this parcel of land, it's absolutely lovely. So yes, the mystery house hit the mark as well, very nice. Oh, this is another lovely room, isn't it?
Oh, this is pretty, yes. I like the beams.
It's a good size too, isn't it?
It is actually, because you've got two singles there.
Yeah.
So you could easily fit a king-size bed.
Absolutely.
I can see Gina living in this house. It's very much her type of house. It had a lot of character. I think her mum would like it as well. I'm not sure that the accommodation for Anita was perfect.
I do have a lot to think about, but to be honest with you, there's a clear winner in my mind.
Right, well, you've seen our properties in Somerset. We've crossed the border into Devon for the mystery house. That's it. So I guess you want some time to have a chat.
I think so.
Gina,
Think about it.
absolutely
yes.
find out what your next move's going to be.
OK.
Come on then.
During the late medieval period, the Somerset countryside was home to a thriving cottage textile industry. The market town of Shepton Mallet, close to the Mendip Hills, was a major wool trading centre, and by the 17th century, a number of mills had sprung up along the River Sheppey. Fast forward to the 1990s, when fashion entrepreneur Roger Saul bought Kilver Court, a former Victorian mill complex, and ran his successful leather handbag company from the estate. But after selling the fashion business in 2004, he opened up the site to the public. I've come to meet him to find out more about the history of the mill and its gardens.
Hi, Roger. Lovely to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Beautiful spot here. And I understand this site has a fascinating history. Can you tell us a little bit about its background?
Yeah, it started really, I suppose, back in probably Roman times when they first made textiles here. So there would have been sheep up on the Mendips, and down in Shepton, with the river coming through, it would have been where they milled all of the wool from the Mendips. By 1500, Somerset was probably a bigger wool producer than Yorkshire.
Was it really?
One of the biggest in the country. So you could say that was a sort of fashion beginning. West of England cloth came from here. Queen Victoria's dress was made here. So a whole sort of succession of really strong entrepreneurial, industrial history.
The earliest mill at Kilver Court was established in the 1500s, but the present buildings date to the 19th century, when businessman Ernest Jardine ran a lace-making factory on the 3.5-acre site. Jardine was a progressive industrialist who wanted to keep his workforce happy, so he created fabulous gardens and a lake for his employees to relax in.
All entrepreneurs had understood that if they wanted to grow their businesses successfully in those really successful Victorian times, they had to have a workforce that was motivated. So at that stage, he would have rebuilt the buildings, he'd have redone some of the cottages and made it a much more amenable place to work in. And also, he'd built the gardens. So he really was thinking about how he could give them the freedom to have leisure as well as work.
So investing in the grounds, but also investing in his workforce at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jardine's factory eventually closed in the 1920s, but Kilver Court found a new lease of life in the 1950s when the Showering family began producing a well-known sparkling perry from the site. Francis Showering remodelled much of the gardens in the 60s, using the gold medal-winning design he'd seen at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Are there any elements of the garden that exist from when it was created back in Jardine's day?
The lake would have been here for the water power. The viaduct, I think, first went up in about 1860, 1870.
Today, Roger keeps the gardens in the same style developed in the mid-20th century. The centrepiece is a rockery surrounded by upright junipers and yew trees. But being a cutting-edge creative himself, Roger couldn't resist making his own fashion statement, influenced by a garden design in Paris.
So here we are, my favourite bit of the garden.
And has it changed then in recent times?
Well, in '96, I bought the whole site. So you looked out from the amazing director's suite into the garden, and all I could see was lines of corporation roses, orange, yellow, pink, and very, very 60s, if you like. So I thought, well, they've got to go. So we ripped them all out, and there's a wonderful museum in des Invalides, and it's got shapes like these box, which are like shells or missiles. So I took that idea and created a parterre here in the middle and put roses and lavender and so on in it.
You certainly have got a wonderful spot here, Roger. Thank you very much.
It's been my pleasure.
In gardening terms, Kilver Court is largely considered to be a classic 60s design, but Roger has ensured that the gardens continue to evolve to be enjoyed by future generations.
So that's it. We've shown Gina and her best friend Claire our properties here in Somerset and, of course, just over the border in Devon for our mystery house. Now, I must admit, I don't think we started off in the strongest of fashions, but it got better as time went on and, well, I'm feeling quietly confident, but let's hear what Gina's got to say. So, how well did we do then? Go on, please let me know.
Well, I think you did very well. The beautiful white property with the lovely big garden is a clear winner in my book. I think it just fits the bill for Mum, myself, and for any visitors. The accommodation, which would be for Mum, I think she'll really like. It was just light and airy, and the only thing, obviously, it didn't have was the shower room. But actually, that wouldn't be a problem, because that'd just, I think, go probably where the utility room is. So it's a clear winner.
Oh, delighted. Well, we're talking about a clear winner. How far are we going to take it? Because your house is currently on the market, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes. The next step, I think, is to talk to Mum and book a second viewing and take her to see it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Claire, you know Gina and her mum Anita probably better than nearly anyone. What difference do you think that property's going to make to their lives if Gina's mum Anita likes it just as much?
I think life will be easier all round. Gina will be happier because she's got her animals.
Well, it's got chickens in situ.
Yes, we've heard all about the chickens.
And also you can relax a little bit with your mum as well, can't you? Knowing that she's safe, that she's happy, that she's independent.
Yes.
And let's hope she loves it as much as you do.
I think she will.
So I'm going to ask one last question. You've wanted this for years. What's the first animal you're going to buy when you move into your new home?
Well, if the chickens are already there, they'll be crossed off the list. Probably a dog.
Well, let us know how you get on. You know,
Yes.
we really wanted to try and find you that perfect home. And I think in the end, we got there, didn't we?
Yes.
Let's hope all the rest falls into place.
Thank you.
Well, I don't mind admitting it is tricky trying to find the right house for two people with individual needs. And Gina was adamant there was no room for compromise. She wanted the perfect house for them both. And guess what? When we showed her that stunning property with the large garden, no compromise went out the window, and she's happy to make those tweaks so it's perfect for Anita. And if her mum loves it as much as Gina does and their office accepted, well, they could be moving in very soon and make Somerset their new home. I really hope it works out for them, and we wish them the very best of luck. And I'll see you again on Escape to the Country.
If you would like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, England or Northern Ireland and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.